Hi, this is Mrs. Zhu, and we're working on homework 3 today. We're going to be talking about the percent of change, and let me kind of show you the table of contents that we did today. So here it is. You can pause the video. We're doing our homework on page 115. Start with problem number 1. We've got 19 questions today. Each question you must write D over O. And the formula given today was do. And really we're focusing on D over O. That stands for difference over the original, which is a fraction that will lead us then to our percent. So we are going to be reviewing a lot of changing fractions to a decimal, then to a percent in our homework tonight. And we talked about weight a little bit as an example of something that's changing, either your weight that you're gaining or the weight that you're losing. Now it's only fair to compare people's weight gain or loss through a percentage, because everybody who starts out at a different weight, and everybody has different body types and different heights and things that factor into your weight. So when we're looking at the percent that something is changing, such as weight, we create this fraction that is known as the difference over the original. And for number 1, we start with a problem that says 30 to 39. So it's not giving us maybe the 30 means like cookies, and then you got more cookies because, someone shared their Girl Scout cookies with you. Either way, you had 30 and you now have 39 of something. And so you basically take the difference because it's changing. So it's changing, and the difference is 39 minus 30, which gives you the fraction, the numerator is going to be 9. So you have 9 more cookies, and then the original amount that you started with would be the 30. You had 30, and so you've got 9 over 30. So this fraction, you're then going to change it into a percentage. Now to do that, there's 2 steps you need to take. First, you need to change it to a decimal, and then you can change it to a percentage. How do I change a fraction into a decimal? I would simply go back to my notes if I need to, where we drew that little triangle with fraction, decimal, percent, and we did Dr. Pepper down here. You can go back to those notes from Monday. So we're going to basically divide the 2 numbers. And sometimes there is an easier way to just do fraction to percent, but for this fraction here, we can't do that. I could simplify and I can get 3 over 10. Oh, actually, that's going to be much more helpful. What I can do is I can simplify this and divide both by 3, giving me 3 over 10. And if I know what that fraction is, then I can simply say, hey, 3 over 10 is the same as 30%, and then get my answer. Now, this question is also telling us to say if the percent is changing, increasing or decreasing. And because I had 30 and I went to 39, then it's an increase of 30%. So I do want to include that in my answer. So there we go. I didn't even have to do division. But if I did, I would have still gotten 0.30 and been able to do Dr. Pepper and move my decimal twice to the right. Let's try number 2, since we're moving forward with that. And I start with, in this question, 55, and it's going to 176. So maybe, again, I had 55, I don't know, whatever it is, like cards, and then now I have 176 cards. So I clearly know that that's going to be an increase amount. So when I get my final answer, I can go ahead and leave that sentence there to fill in for later. So I'm going to use D over O. I'm going to see how much it's changing, the difference. So I'm going to subtract, so 176 minus 55. is the same as 121. And then I'm going to do the original, difference over original. I'm going to write that right here. So the original amount was, I started with 55, so I'm going to put 55 in the denominator. So now I have this nice fraction, 121 over 55. And I'm going to find the percentage. So to do that, I'm going to first find the decimal by dividing. So I'm going to do 121 in the box, 55 outside. This is where I'm basically I've got to show quite a bit of work. So I've got points, so I have at least one, no, I think two here, two. I get 110. Then I have 110, then I have another 2. That's 110, 0. So I've got 2.2. That's my decimal. Then I'm going to change that decimal to a percent. When I change a decimal to percent, I do Dr. Pepper. So my decimal is going to move 2 times, 1, 2 to the right, because Dr. Pepper is to the right. Add a 0. I have now 220%. So I'm going to fill in my answer here. 220% of an increase happened. Number 2. We'll do one more question. I will skip down to number 9. In problems number 9, I'm doing the same thing. I'm finding a percent of change. I begin with 80, and now I have 95. So this is the original 80, and this is what I end with. Now, the question says that if I need to round, I'm going to round to the 10th of a percent. Okay, so let's focus on the rounding for this question, because I think I might have to do that. So I'm going to do D over O, which stands for the difference over the original. The difference here is 95 minus 80, which is 15. Then my original amount was the 80, so I'm going to have 80. So out of the 80, I had a change of 15. So if I can, I'm going to simplify the fraction, making it a little easier to divide. I'm going to divide both by 5, giving me 3 over 16. From here, I'm then going to change this fraction to a percent. So I've got to do 2 steps to get there. I have to first make it a decimal by dividing. So which number goes in the box? The number on the top. So I'm going to do 3 in the box, 16 outside. As I divide, I'm going to get 0.1. And I add a 0. I'm going to get an 8. Running out of space a little bit here. And a 7. How many place values do I need to keep going? When I take this decimal, and then now that I have a decimal, and what I want to do is to change it to a percent, then 0.187, if I were to change it to a percent, I would do Dr. Pepper and move the decimal twice to the right, 1, 2, so it would end up between the 8 and the 7. Now, I'm supposed to be rounding to the 10th of a percent. meaning the 7 is in the tenths. But I can't really round the 7. I don't know if I should keep it a 7 or round it up to an 8. So I actually need one more number here. So I'm going to go back to the dividing and I'm going to find one more number. I've got 80. I'm going to do 16 times 5, I think. Which is exactly a 5. So now I can round this number. So now my final answer when I round is going to be 18.8%, and the percentage here is increasing because I did start out with 80 and then go up to 95. So it's an 18.8% increase. That's how I round correctly in this question. So as you're dividing and you need to round your percentages to the tenths place, when you actually go to divide for your decimal, you need not only your tens, your hundreds, your thousands, but then your 10,000s place when you are dividing. So you got to have 4 numbers. That way you can round to the tenths because you got to move the decimal again. Okay? I hope that helps a little bit. Every question you do the same. It just doesn't have so much of a situation that goes with it. See you later.